Welcome to this session in the series on innovative teaching. In the earlier sessions, we've talked about what is innovative teaching, how do we create the conditions for innovative teaching, what are the benefits of innovative teaching. But a very important question remains, how do we evaluate innovative teaching? It's a rather challenging thing for the simple reason, firstly, there is no formula for innovation. As we said, there is no way that you can say this alone is innovation. And the other thing is we are talking innovative teaching. So you may be very innovative, but has the teaching improved? So that is another important question, because when you look at innovation in design or in creating a product or in a service, it is one kind of thing. When we talk of innovation in teaching, the purpose of innovation is to improve the level of teaching. In a sense, if we remember what we said earlier, to move from surface and shallow learning to deeper learning, to have an interest in lifelong learning, to be motivated for learning, and so on and so forth. So these become the kind of things, and therefore evaluating teaching innovation is even more problematic. There would be, of course, one way could be that if the traditional administration wants an improvement in examination results, they would probably see for examination in the exit results and see whether that has improved. But that's not enough, because we said the goal of innovative teaching is something more transformational. Therefore, what we would probably need to do is to create some kind of feedback forms and questionnaires which can be used by learners, fellow teachers, and parents. The first thing is that what do we want to do? So, how do we evaluate great teaching? There are two kinds of approaches we could take. One is that we look at what the teacher is doing and see how innovative those actions of the teachers are. More importantly, what the students are doing. Because if the teacher has tried to do something quite innovative and interesting, but students react in the same way, then again the effect of innovative teaching hasn't happened. A fundamental academic question remains is that, do teaching methodologies influence educational outcomes? And I think rather than presuming answers to it or assuming that they do or they don't, the best method, of course, is to try to measure it and measure it in a specific context. So you need to seek evidence that learners are willing to take the initiative to solve problems and are actively engaged in learning. So this again has to be done by designing some kind of questionnaires. We have to look for evidence for the development of critical thinking and problem solving skills within the context of the learning agenda. So we again have to see that when we are looking at how people respond to tasks or assignments, are these things coming up? And then of course we have to see whether the level of comfort with ICT used by learners and teachers, because as we said earlier, information communication technologies are an essential part of the current innovation thought. So what do? You can create what we might call a course experience questionnaire. So as people are doing the course or have finished the course, you create typically it is called a 5-point Likert scale, where you give a series of statements and you use 1 for strongly disagree and 5 for strongly agree. And you give such a questionnaire to students in the class. You can sometimes give them to students when they are not in class. Sometimes you can get feedback from peers. And what do we look at in these questions that you would design? We look at promotion of collaborative learning, we look at customized learning that addresses individual issues, we look at applying knowledge and competencies, we look at action learning, practical orientation, we look at life and work experience learning, and we would look at whether you've created a network of learners who really enjoy and pursue learning together. So this is the kind of thing that would be there. For each specific case, you would design a specific questionnaire. The questions will be specific to the situation. And we hope that when you're carrying out these exercises, you can, in the context of your own thing, you can imagine an innovation you're doing and look at what kind of questionnaires you would create to find out what is the impact of that innovation.